Pop Isaacs is headed to Houston. The on paper replacement for LJ Cryer looks like he's really good at Texas Tech, Riley. He was really good at Creighton before he got hurt. Only played 8 games for the Blue Jays, but averaged over 16 points per game to go along with just under 5 boards and almost 4 assists per game. He's a very solid player. Now going to a Houston team that preseason #1 in our rankings that he checked CBB, coming off of a national title game appearance. What do you make of this addition for Houston?
Oh man, Ralph, I think it's polarizing. That's for sure. I think I like trust Kelvin Sampson's judgment. It'd be tough not to right now with what he just did with this team. I do like the angle of him being more of like a Crier replacement as opposed to someone like Uzan. Should Uzan stay in the draft? I guess Uzan hasn't declared yet, has he? But I would assume he'll at least test, right?
He has not entered the draft. I think he's projected though to be a second round guy.
Yeah, I
So
would guess Uzan ultimately.
he's not one of those guys that we like write off as like, oh, we're expecting him to go. I think he's truly up in the air.
Yeah. I think Uzan will ultimately be back, and I would say, like, you can see some, if you wanted to make that comparison on the surface, it makes sense a little bit where a guy who struggled with some inefficiencies at his prior stops maybe is rejuvenated under Kelvin Sampson. But I just think, like, Uzan came out of Porter Moser, and I think Sampson is light years ahead of Porter Moser as a coach. Whereas when you look at, like, Pop has been in two pretty good situations under McDermott, who's a brilliant offensive coach, to where I don't really know if he still has like that lead guard type potential that many would have thought he had coming out of high school. But I think viewing him in the Crier role is a lot more projectable, so to speak. Like kind of has some of the same vibes where like when he heats up, he can really heat up. It's pretty funny looking at those Creighton games he played. He started the year, scored 12 points, 8 points, and 9 points in his first 3 games with the Blue Jays, and then proceeded to score 25 plus in 3 of his final 5 games before the injury. You know, you see like that's been a little bit true of his career. He's been a little volatile, a little streaky. And yet I can see the vision, even if I would have some hesitations just based on some of the shot selection, some of the inefficiency. I can see the vision with Sampson taking a chance on him.
I'm very in on this. I'm very in on this, assuming he is healthy. And I know the hip stuff is tough and tricky, and there's different severities, but the hip stuff is a little interesting. Um, Houston has needed a guy with his kind of wiggle and his ability to get to the rim off the bounce, hit some pull up shots. We talked about the end of the championship game for Houston and the 4 turnovers, last 4 possessions. So they kind of let Florida back into it. It's because they didn't have a guy who could do that. Crier's really good at it, but he's not somebody who like could finish around the rim at a high rate when he got there. Some of that just due to his size. Uzan was that guy for a portion of last season, but wasn't in the tournament. It's what they lacked. It's what they lacked.
Yeah,
Like this is a Houston team that almost blew leads to Gonzaga and almost blew leads to Purdue late in games too, somewhat for that reason. I think Isaacs brings some of that to the table. I think could be that guy. There is some hesitation because the styles that Creighton play and the styles that Houston play are vastly different, right? Vastly different. And I think that's where some of the hesitation comes. But there's some hesitation about the role Uzan was going to play when he came from Oklahoma, what that was going to look like. And where we had similar conversations about the role Cryer was going to play when he came from Baylor, because that's more similar to Creighton than similar is to Houston. I do think there is something to be said for Sampson's eye for what he wants in his system. And I do think that Isaac brings an element with his ability to attack the rim off the bounce that Houston has not had and needs.
I get it. I trust Kelvin as well. I trust his eye to like, yeah, you're right. Like LJ Cryer on the surface seems sort of like a weird fit, just being primarily a 3 point special. Maybe calling him a 3 point specialist would be a bit of an insult because he could make really tough shots, but he always took more threes than twos. Although
We interrupt this sleepers video to talk directly to you, our loyal listener. Have you ever found yourself watching us two idiots thinking, hey, I wish there was a very easy, small way for me to show a token of my appreciation for all of their hard work on all these videos I love to watch? Well, now we have just the way to do that.
Thanks to the beautiful folks over at Underdog Fantasy. They are helping us out this month, presenting a lot of the content coming out this month, giving you a chance with a amazing offer that you can use using our promo code that Gregory will tell you more about.
Yeah, so college hoop season's over. But we got like big time golf tournaments. The NBA playoffs are coming. Baseball season's underway. There's still a bunch of sports on. There's still a bunch of ways to play with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SLEEPERS. As a new customer, you can get up to 1,000 bonus credits plus a free pick. It's one of the most fun ways to play. It's a great way to support us. And on some actual like non-ad read stuff, talking genuinely here, really helps us because if Underdog loves us, if we get a lot of people to sign up, they're going to help us continue to bring you the content that you love. Show your support. Join Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a free pick.
Like Isaacs is every year that he's played, he's attempted more threes than twos as well, to where I'm just skeptical of him giving giving Houston the rim pressure that they need. I see the potential there. Like you're saying, he does have that wiggle or the boogie, as Kevin Sweeney told us. He's got some boogie to his game, but it's just the streakiness and like he's sleight of frame to where I see it. I don't know. I'm a little bit skeptical that he's going to be able to provide like this rim attacking style. In my opinion, I'd rather see more extended minutes for Isaiah Harwell, the incoming freshman. To me, he seems like a true Kelvin Sampson type of guard just because he's big, he's physical, he can guard, and he's a good passer. He can finish above the rim as well. Yeah, like I would I'm probably going to still have Houston either one or two in my rankings when it's all said and done because especially if they get Uzan back, that's number one for me. I'm a big Chris Sinnat guy as well. And it's just tough not to trust the system that Samson has in place. But yeah, I don't mind this addition, but I don't I don't know like how exactly the pecking order is going to shake out in the backcourt.
If there's one program where I do not care about pecking order, it's Houston.
That's fair.
Right. Like that's just built into their culture where it doesn't really matter what pecking order is. I think they would have liked to have had a Jamal Shed type or Marcus Sasser type, but I think they're okay kind of not. Isaacs is really good at getting to the line as well and has shot a high percentage at the line. He's over 85% for his career. I think that's a benefit. But let's say Uzan comes back with Isaacs. You now have two Vegas area kids, by the way, both from the Las Vegas area, who can score, who can work some stuff around the rim, shoot the three, do a little bit of playmaking, attack the glass, and play solid offensively as well. Like having two of those guys in the backcourt with Emmanuel Sharp and his shooting ability, I think opens things up a lot. It's going to be it's not one for one with Cryer, but I think that the slight differences in the game between Isaacs and Cryer means there's not going to be a ton of drop off. Again, as long as Isaacs is 100%.
Mhm. I feel you on that. Yeah, I think you're probably a little bit higher on this move than I am. At the same time, it's like I have my hesitations. Simultaneously, you hold that intention with like I trust Kelvin Sampson. So
Yeah, no one thought the Uzan thing was going to work. We were like, that's who we picked.
okay,
And
I was kind of in on the Uzan thing. Maybe there's receipts somewhere. Maybe I'm like this could be a figment of my imagination, but I swear I like kind of saw the visual with me with Milos Uzan.
you may have been, but at large there was some hesitation because he averaged like 8 points a game in
I
Oklahoma,
know, but
and
you like
that was the
look at
choice.
but if you look at Uzan's like his shot charts, like at Oklahoma, he was still like better at getting to the rim, better like getting into the paint. That's just the hesitation here. But at the same time, if Uzan is back and you have Isaiah Harwell to do that, I mean, maybe I'm contradicting myself, but perhaps that like simplifies Pop's role where it's like, hey, you are the microwave scorer. Take as many step back threes as you want and try to get to the free throw line.
I do think there is something to be said for somebody who was the guy at Texas Tech and was one of the guys. We didn't really get enough time to see how it played out, but one of the guys at Creighton to now being somebody who doesn't have to be, but can be. I think there's something to be said for what that can do to somebody's game, particularly with their efficiency and just some of the freedom that may give him.